Hi, well, this is Sam Crane at the Heart, and I'm back with my Concord and Ninth summer camp recap. So I'm going to have multiple videos of all the projects that I made and kind of my feelings about the products I used, and with a recap at the end. So they're going to probably be, I don't know, 5 or 6 videos. So I get started with this first one, which was day 1, the first class that we made. And so the products for this class, and I did an unboxing if you want to see all the products that the Concord and Ninth Summer Camp comes with. I'm really loving the virtual sort of format and being able to go to these things, because I definitely couldn't afford to go to Utah and go in person. So it's really great they're doing it virtual. And you get a really good kit. The kit's exclusive. I don't know how exclusive that means. I don't know if these products are never going to show up in the range, but I think it gives us a glimpse, at least, of the products that are probably be coming out by Concord and Ninth. I think they're going to be looking into getting into a little bit more stenciling, possibly. So anyway, let's get into it. So they gave us this really cool field guide, which really helped. And the way the classes were run was they would do a video taped portion, so a portion where the instructor had taped themselves or videoed themselves making the card, and then it would go back to live where they would redo that card again and talk about sort of the things that we should be aware of or problems we may have had. So Laura Basson was the instructor for this class. It's the Cardscapes. I'm going to go over the product that we used. We made 2 cards. I made this card, and then I made a bunch of bonus cards, which is kind of why I'm doing it separately. So we used this Cardscapes die, which I really feel like we didn't even scratch the surface of what this die could be used for. But you get this really nice tree line. You get a sun or a moon. You get a one that makes mats for you, and you get something that could be, mountains or grass or, sand, hills. And then you get a great stamp set, actually, one that has a lot of really general, useful sentiments with great different types of fonts. And so I'm really pleased with this particular set. You also get 2 stencils, which are extremely useful. We get this one that makes a sun. You get this one that does stuff with the tree line, which I'm going to show you how we used it. And then you get these 2 mountain ones where you could create your own mountains or grass or whatever, but you also can use them to detail the mountains and grass. And I'm going to show you that in the cards. So the 2 cards that we made in the class, let me see which ones they are, because I'm going to get confused about which ones they were, the actual classes. So it's this one right here. And so this one was fun. We actually stenciled Buttercup, which is a yellow, over this sort of peachy, it's called grapefruit, cardstock. And so it comes out looking a little bit orangey, but I like it because it looks sort of like a sunrise or a sunset, however you want to do it. And then we have these different colored mountains and grass, and then we used that other mountain stencil to stencil over it and basically give some dimension to those mountains and the grass. And so there's that one. And then the other card that we made, I kind of screwed up. So this is the card that I made in class, and basically it was supposed to have like a frame around it, and apparently I cut my paper not good. So I ended up with this very skinny frame, which I think it looks fine, but you'll see the card that I made, in response to screwing this one up. But this is how the tree line stencil's done. It's done sort of as a reflection of the trees, and I love that. I think it's amazing and an easy way to do a reflection. Pretty cool. So those are the 2 cards that I made during the class. And then I made this one because luckily I had leftover pieces anyways. So I did it sort of more the correct way, where I gave myself a frame. I did a different sentiment since you're pretty great. And kind of just laid it out very similar and did the reflection. And I love these. They're all very sort of masculine oriented cards. And so the other cards, let's see, is that all the cards? I made a couple of cards, bonus cards. So this was one of the bonus cards that was listed on the website for campers. And it's very simple. It's just using those rays sort of as a rainbow, and then just using the tree line die, and then just white embossing the brighter days ahead. Very simple. And then I used leftover pieces that I had to kind of do something similar to this first card. But I just kind of used all the leftover pieces, and I did it on white cardstock. And so it is definitely a little bit different, but the same. And then this was another card that was inspired by the bonus card that was on the website for campers. It's very similar to that card, but not quite the same. I had leftover pieces, and that's what I use. I use these to deal with the scrap that I had left. And so, you know, it was a really fun class, and I made a lot of cards. I ended up making, I mean, the class only had us making 2 cards, but I ended up making 6 cards. So I made a ton of cards in this weekend. So thank you so much for watching. This is Cindy of Creating the Heart.